Hi there, welcome to the Binance Coin Wyckoff technical analysis. So Binance Coin has been on a pretty smooth run except for 2-3 weeks ago where there was a little dip, and then now this week it seems to have a fierce battle between the bulls and the bears. So has it already landed on the moon this round, or is it going to go further? So let's quickly take a look. Here in the weekly chart, previously we've put in this UT80 upwards of the distribution tag somewhere earlier around here, and then there was another leg out, and also I put a AR over here. And then I think about it, there is a hypothesis that I have for buying climax. There's a preliminary supply period, this PSY over here, and then obviously the automatic reaction, and subsequently second test, yada yada yada. And then we have this upthrust. So my hypothesis is for upthrust and upthrust of the distribution, it should be normal to have something similar. So that's why I have added these PSY2, I almost said PS2, and PSY3 over here, as well as AR2, AR3. If the current week candle is the upthrust of the distribution peak, then eventually we should be seeing an automatic reaction 3, and afterwards there may be a second test or just a last point of supply, and eventually again a sign of weakness at a higher level, subsequently one at a lower level similar to where we had the last one back in March. So that's my hypothesis at the moment. We still have to give it some time to prove. As of now, looking at the volume, it has obviously came down compared to what happened back in July. So I would say the momentum has kind of reduced a little, not completely disappeared. Looking at this week's candle, the wicks, both from the top and the bottom, if you compare it to let me enlarge it so it's easier for you to see. If you compare it to last week's candle, the wicks were shorter basically. So this week, the price range is between the open and close is getting narrower. So the bulls and the bears seems to have come to a point where they say, maybe that's where we should take a pause. And another observation you might have already noticed is the current price is right below this blue slope. So this blue slope is actually the top edge of the upward channel, this massive flag. So if you're in the candlesticks pattern analysis, that's a bearish flag, and that means the price will eventually come down. That's the textbook definition for candlestick patterns analysis. This flag has been there has started since February, as early as February. So we are 339 days into it now. So what's next then, if these are the stages in the macro that we would expect to happen? So before going into the micro to see what's happened like in a short-term future, just to add to what I mentioned just now, that the price or the current price is right below the light blue slope. Look at what happened to the upthrust and buying climax. Both, when they got close to this ceiling, both of them got back to the respective key levels. So this blue line over here as well as this light blue line over there. So those two horizontal lines are the key levels of 675 and 740. This time is 845. There's still time left just a few hours, 5.5 hours roughly. Not sure whether the candle will come back to here. If the closing price is going to get back to the purple level or close to the purple level, the current candle will become like a cross. So if a cross happens here, then there is a likely chance for next week's candle to come down a little, but it's just my wild guess for now. And that's the big picture. Just to make it short and concise, volume wise, it's been lower than what we had in July, and then now that we've got to a stage where the price has hit the ceiling of the upward channel, so both times back in buy climax and upthrust, the price returned back down to touching the lower edge of this same channel box. So would this time be different, or would it be exactly the same? When the time comes that it hits the bottom of the channel, it would be somewhere near this green key level of 615, but maybe we're still a few weeks or even a couple of months before that happens. So let's take a look at the daily chart. So last week we put in the tech is in the second test. So back then it was right at around where the upthrust was. And now that it has gone further up, we know this is probably an upthrust after distribution. Still a second test, but at a higher price level. So that's why it's got a different name according to the Wyckoff method. And now that it has come here, and then it's yesterday's candle was red, and we've got a little cross today, there may be a chance that it's going to come down for not the SOW. The terminology I introduced is AR3, and then eventually maybe it's going to bounce up for an LPSY before it comes down to the actual sign of weakness. So that's how my hypothesis goes. Currently, the price is still above this yellow dashed line. So if it comes down and still holds above this yellow dashed line, then it may still continue to come up to challenge the purple. So that's where the AR and LPSY comes in. That's hopefully pretty clear. Volume wise, let me drag the chart to the side a little. Volume wise, it's been declining, but staying flat for the past 2 weeks. So it's pretty stable for now, and maybe there's only just some small moves to start with before some bigger moves come in. In terms of the Keltner, Bollinger Band squeeze, there's not much squeeze at the moment, but without the squeeze doesn't mean so that was a squeeze and then the price shot up, but without the squeeze doesn't mean the price can't go like this. So there wasn't much of a squeeze back over here, but this price can still swing quite fiercely because it's at a level where basically it's very peak UT and UTAD levels. So that's why fierce fluctuations are expected. So of course you can check other indicators, RSI or stochastic RSI, etc., etc. So it doesn't matter there, or even MACDs. So all these indicators are now, what I mean, like Wyckoff and this Bollinger Band kind of squeeze, and these support lines are pointing to the fact that this has gone to an area where stability is not expected. So let's put it this way. So let me extend this line a little so we'll see where it's heading. When the time comes, if the price continues to stay within or above this yellow line, eventually by November time, mid-November, it has to tell us whether it's going to shoot above the purple again or to come down to test this blue support key level. So that's why I said there may be still a bit of time if it really does stay above this yellow dashed line. For the near term, expect it to exhibit a bit of movements around the blue and the purple. It will be difficult to keep above the purple, but there may still be a chance. So I would say above the purple line, maybe 20% chance, 70% chance between the blue and the purple, and 10% chance falls through the blue. So that's how I'm seeing where Binance Coin is going for the near future.